Welcome back to MidEast In-Depth. Maronite Patriarch Al-Rai stood firm on Monday on his decision to go to occupied Jerusalem, a visit that has stirred controversy in Lebanon. Let's have a look at print media and see what the involved parties think of this. The Daily Star writes from Beirut on the news that has been causing some uproar in the country, particularly throughout this sensitive context in the region. Patriarch Rai told reporters at the Grand Serai in downtown Beirut after his meeting with the Premier, "I told Prime Minister Tamam Salam that we are going to Jerusalem on a church and pastorally related visit. This is no political motive behind the visit." Rai announced that he would join Pope Francis during a tour of the Holy Land on May the 24th till the 26th, a visit that would make him the first Maronite Patriarch to travel to Israel since it was founded in 1948. The paper reports many have criticized Rai's visits, saying such a trip could be seen as a bid to normalize ties with Israel, with whom Lebanon is technically in a state of war. The Daily Star's Michael Young had written previously on the matter, with part of him defending Rai's visit, saying the Catholic Church has long contested Israeli sovereignty over Jerusalem, which is a city for all its communities, and by going there, therefore, Rai only drives the latter point home. In contrast, if we were to refuse the travel to Jerusalem, that would mean that he has conceded to Israel a final say over whoever visits and whatever happens in the holy city. On the other hand, Young believes that the broader problem is that Rai has often failed to see, or has refused to see, how his decisions implicate the broader Maronite community that he represents. When Rai says that he will not meet with Israeli officials, he's acting like a simpleton. It's not the fact that he will meet with anyone that makes a difference, it's that a man of his stature has decided to travel to Israel in the first place. And staying on the subject, let's see what the leftist daily Al-Rai reports on Hezbollah's reaction to the diocesan visit. Lebanon's powerful Hezbollah movement said Friday it had warned the Maronite Patriarch of the negative repercussions of his plan to accompany Pope Francis to Israeli-occupied Jerusalem this month. Ibrahim Amin al-Sayyid, head of the group's political council, said after meeting Al-Rai, saying, "We presented our perspective and point of view and laid out what we see as the negative repercussions of his visit." Al-Rai has defended the visit as a purely religious matter and said he had a duty to welcome the Pope in Jerusalem. He told Associated France Press, "The Pope is going to the Holy Land and Jerusalem. He is going to the diocese of the Patriarch, so it's normal that the Patriarch should welcome him." Hezbollah had previously declined the comment on the trip, although a leading pro-resistance newspaper called it a historic sin. Sayyid said the group understood Rai's intentions, but we talked about the risks and drawbacks of the trip in terms of repercussions at the level of Lebanon and of the Israeli entity, he said. And also he added, despite the Israel travel ban, Lebanon's Maronite clergy are allowed to travel to the Holy Land to minister to around 10,000 faithful there. The Maronite Church has its roots in the early 5th century and is named after a hermit, Saint Maron. Rai's deputy Boulos Sayyah, who will accompany him, has said the Patriarch would not participate in any political meetings in Israel, but will meet Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. And now let's talk to London-based political analyst joining us over the phone, Dr. Mohammad Haidar. Thank you very much for being on MidEast In-Depth.
Yeah, okay.
Ibrahim Amin al-Sayyid, head of Hezbollah's political council, said, "We presented our perspective and point of view and laid out what we see as the negative repercussions of Al-Rai's visit to Israel." Dr. Haidar, what are the concerns of Hezbollah and why do you think the Patriarch should consider them?
The point is not, what Hezbollah is trying to express, through his view. It's the concern of a lot of the Lebanese themselves. Let's not take it only from Hezbollah's point of view or perspective. The matter is related to the national unity of the Lebanese. When we are at the moment at a very critical stage to build up and put together, the whole unity, which is becoming fragile.
Yes.
So we don't need any other issues which may really make it more fragile. There is no point, and there is no doubt about that the goodwill of the Hezbollah or others, regarding, the intention of the Patriarch There's no doubt about that, and no one is trying to accuse him of doing anything. But the consequences, the ramification of such a visit, the main concern about it is the Israeli will take advantage of it. The Israeli are so they will use this visit as the flag, for them, and they say, listen, we have no problem with the Christians. This is the whole Antakya and the Levant, Patriarch is coming to visit us in Israel, and we have no problem. While the Israeli themselves, they had a lot of problem, with the Christian in South Lebanon. Another point as well, which is really making a lot of people worry about it, is the meeting with the Lahdi people, the people who were working with the Lahd army,
Yes.
And these are Lebanese. They had the cooperation with the Israeli during a period of time, or during the occupation of the Israeli in South Lebanon. This has become this. Then it will divert, the visit from its religious purpose to a political purpose. I don't think, the Lebanese have a problem, if those people would like to come back, but they have to be accountable toward the Lebanese law, what's happening. Anyway, this is a very critical issue. It's not important, but there are quite a lot of people, even from the villages, Christians on the Palestine side, who decided to come back to their villages, and the Israeli are trying to prevent them. They had some kind of conservative, attitude toward the visit of Al-Rai, especially if he wants to meet the Lahdi people. So it's not Hezbollah's point of view; it's the Lebanese point of view. And what worries as well is the Turkey position changing towards something else at the moment, or somebody is trying to put a trap for the Maronites, on the midst of all of this troubles, where Lebanon is trying to overcome, by especially, the presidency election, and then we will have the prime ministry as well, and then we will have the election. So we don't have any more problem. We don't need any more problems. It could be wise, at the moment to look at what is the benefit and the disadvantages, or advantage disadvantage. It seems there are more disadvantages of this visit, although we appreciate that the visit of the Patriarch to his people, in Palestine is quite important and is highly important. But we are worried about who is going to use this visit to put the Christians in a different position, because there are people trying to show that the Christians they are not concerned about the Palestinian issue. They are not concerned about
I think the Christians made it clear also within the Lebanon that they oppose such a visit, and they have their remarks on it. But you mentioned the Christians there. There are 10,000 Maronites in the Holy Land there between in the Israeli entity now. So by visiting his pastor, his diocese, the Patriarch really establishes something there, especially that the Catholic Church has long contested Israeli sovereignty over Jerusalem, which is a city for all its communities. So in that sense, from a religious perspective, yes, could we not argue that there is an advantage, like you probably appreciate?
I do appreciate that. I will take an example as Kfar Bar'am.
Yes.
Kfar Bar'am is a Maronite village in Palestine. The people of the population of this little village has been really suffering a lot of troubles from the Israeli, and the Israeli are not trying, and they're trying not to let them go back, to stop them going back to their village. Quite a lot of people, they are happy that the Patriarch will go and visit them. But what they are worried about is that there are people who would like to use this visit for a political reason and get, benefit out of it, and then use it against the Palestinian and against the Arab and against the Christian themselves. That's why I said, they have some conversation. I have, like several names, several activists, like Michel Aoun, who is a lawyer, and he is a very Arab. He is a very Arab activist, and he defends all those Christian Arabs in Palestine. But he is worried about this visit, and he is really concerned about it. Is that the Israeli are going to use it against them? Although what happened if, for example, the Israeli went to go and visit the patriarch and embarrassed him in the airports or anywhere, whatever. What the problem? It is a critical moment. The patriarch will be really embarrassed. If he put in a situation like that, which is really against the protocol. But the Israeli don't care. They will put him in such a situation, and they will take it against him as well. And if he meets them, then they will use it and say, look, the patriarch is meeting us. If he didn't meet them and he was against them, they will, raise the Jewish flag, and say, look, this patriarch is anti-Semitist, and they will use all these slogans they have, which is known to the whole world. So that's why this will be an embarrassing moment to our patriarch. And we are proud of this patriarch, because he is not only the patriarch for the Christian as well.
Yes,
he is one of the Lebanese religious leaders and the religious leaders in the region as well. So he has, I would say, his effect on other Christians in the area as well. It's not only in Lebanon, in Palestine, in Syria, even in Turkey as well, or in Jordan, or in Lebanon. So it is not only the visit itself. And what worries about it is the Israeli will say again, okay, since the patriarch started to come to Israel, or he came to Israel, then we would like other Lebanese to come and visit Jerusalem. And this will be an embarrassing as well. What the Lebanese, government will do in this situation like that.
Can we say that Hezbollah's concerns or warnings of repercussion, like you said, and like they said when they met with him, are messages of goodwill, really, not really messages of severe warnings or even threats?
No, they said this, clearly. The little committee, the three guys who visited, the three members of Hezbollah who visited Turkey, they were really aware of the situation, and they went, if they want to put like a warning or show a warning, they would have said that clearly. They went to present their point of view and put on the table what are the advantages and the disadvantages, because the Israelis are preparing something,
Yes, of
and
course.
this might be used against the Lebanese, themselves to crack another, to do another crack, in this community, the Lebanese community, which we don't really need at this moment.
Of course, unless if Al-Rai will always be protected by a bit of infallibility that could be transferred from the Pope when we meet him, maybe in Jerusalem.
Let me mention something. Somebody was trying to, to connect his visit that it is a part of the Pope visit. Formally, it is not. This is what I think.
Are you talking here about the protocols of the Catholic Church?
No, the visit of Al-Rai is not part of the Pope's visit. So it's not part of the group who are in.
Yes, of course. He probably saw it as a good occasion, maybe, to go there.
But they said somebody tried to put it together, join it as if it is part of this. But I am sure, the intention of the Patriarch Al-Rai is a good intention, no doubt about it, and we are proud to have one like him now.
Of course. Thank you very much, Dr. Haidar, for your remarkable views. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.